winter time in the UK is crazy, man. Like it's literally not even 5 p.m. It's almost 5 p.m. It's 4:58, and look at the sky now. It's already dark. It's basically nighttime. And in this video, just wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about with winter, you know, things getting darker a lot earlier. Seasonal depression is hitting a lot of people. I feel like, you know, when it's darker, it gets dark early, your motivation levels, energy levels are affected by that, obviously. But I think what, you know, with it being dark, there's another way of looking at it as well, rather than it being gloomy and bleak, you know. So, like, I think when times get tough, it's really important to put things into perspective, especially with life. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about this video about space, like kind of a random thing to talk about, but I don't know. Space is cool, man. And when they're getting darker a lot earlier, it just, you know, at least I've been thinking about it a lot more. Because you really think about it, right? When it's dark, what is it really? Is the side of the planet we're on Earth here is facing away from the sun, and it's facing towards the universe, the color of the universe. So, like, rather than seeing nighttime as like this really bleak, gloomy, depressing time, I like to think of it as a time where the sky is dyed by the color of the universe, you know? Like, when you look up in the sky right now, unfortunately, thanks to light pollution, you can't really see any stars, but it is dark, and darkness is just, that's the universe, man. Like, I don't know, it's just crazy to think about, like, this vast empty space. Like, if you look up, you know, all you have to do is just be curious enough to look up, and then you just remember, well, you have to remind yourself just how small we are. So when things get tough in life, when, you know, overwhelmed and your problems feel really big, you just have to kind of remind yourself, put things into perspective of just how small we really are in this universe, you know. Like, for example, it's kind of, there's this black hole, right, in the universe out there. It's called TON 618. So TON 618 is considered one of, if not the biggest black hole out there, or like, it's not even black hole, but it's the single biggest, like, single object in the whole universe. It's, the size is unfathomably large. The mass is about of like 66 billion suns, which, you know, it's kind of hard to comprehend how dense and how big that object is. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the diameter of the black hole is it's the width of, you know, from the sun to Neptune 13 times over or something like that. It's enormous. And just kind of knowing something like that exists out there, and mind you, this black hole, it's 18 billion, not million, billion with a B, light years away from us, which is crazy. Like, that's so insane. Something like 18 billion light years, the fastest thing in the known universe, light, takes 18 billion years for light to travel from there to here. So, like, unfortunately, you know, you can't see any stars up here, but you can actually see it from Earth with a strong enough, like, camera/telescope, and the light from it, like, it's, with this black hole, because it's so large, it creates what's called a quasar, where it's basically like feeding on matter in the universe, like planets and stuff, and the friction of it, like, getting absorbed into the black hole, it causes so much energy that it causes it to, like, light up, basically. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the movie Interstellar, but that's basically what, like, that light ring is around it. But it's so big that it's like, it's just so bright, causing a quasar, which is like a really big version of like an accretion disk, and it's so bright that you could see it from there to here. Like, you can see it on Earth. So the light that you see from Earth, it's actually 10.8 billion light years away or something like that. You know, so it's 10 billion instead of 18 billion because by the time the light reached us, it was still 10 billion light years away. But then, you know, with the universe, it always expands, so it's just continuously getting further and further away. But like when the light reached us, it was 10 billion light years away. But that's still crazy. We can see light from something 10 billion light years away in the universe. Like, how insane is that? The universe is crazy, man. It's just so unfathomably large that it's just impossible to wrap our human minds around it, you know. But like when you kind of really sit down and think of it, it really humbles you. I feel like it really sobers you up, because we're just here, like on a random planet, man, in like the vast expanse of space. It's crazy. But yeah, so I encourage you guys, if you're like living in a place or maybe like, you know, it doesn't have to be in a place where it's winter and it's dark early. Just whenever it's dark, look up in the sky, even if you can't see any stars because of light pollution. There's just so much beyond us, man. All you have to do is just look up and just remind yourself like where we are in the universe here. And all of a sudden, you know, you find that your problems aren't as big as you think they are, you know. But yeah, have the curiosity to look up. Also wanted to just really quickly say too that, you know, record this part, just kind of came to my mind as I was walking, is if you have the opportunity to go somewhere where there's like really low light pollution, no light pollution, and you have the chance to look at the sky, do it, man. Like a little bit of story time. I remember once several years back, I went scuba diving in Indonesia, where I had to basically live on this boat for several nights, and it was like just kind of in the middle of the ocean, nowhere near any islands and stuff like that. And because of that, there was no light pollution around, and I just remember so vividly going up to the top of the boat. There were like bean bags and stuff that you can sit on and lie down on. I just lied down on one, like a blue colored one, and I just look up at the sky and just stare at it for like hours on end, like seriously, because you can see all the stars. Like, it's beautiful. Like, shit like that really is just mind-boggling, man, you know. Like, it's enough to make you cry sometimes, like when you really sit there and ponder what you're looking at. Because when it comes to like space and stuff, the margins and kind of scale is just so astronomically big that it's difficult sometimes to really wrap your head around concepts, you know, like things having the mass of 66 billion suns. Like, what does that even mean? You know, like those numbers are just so large. Or things like 18 billion light years away, or, you know, it's just crazy, like the amount of stuff out there, which is just like how big the universe is and how incredible it is, how beautiful it is, but also how lonely it is. Like, you know, it's just weird. It's such a mind-boggling thing to sit with, you know. So you can see videos on YouTube of like simulations of like space and stuff, where there are planets out there. You can really think where, like, for a sun, like there's planets out there that have 5 suns. So, you know, once the sunset or sunrise, 5 suns would come up and sink, or 2 suns, or, you know, or some planets even have like black holes near them, and you can see them like freaking going up and down like the horizon and stuff. Like, it's just crazy. There's like planets like that out there, which this goes to show as well, like, I don't know, to be grateful to be on planet Earth, because just like the way science shows, you know, it's not, like, statistically speaking, it's not that difficult to have this like conditions for life. We as a species haven't found signs of life elsewhere, just because the universe is that big. But like microbial life, it's quote unquote statistically not that difficult to create. However, bypassing like the steps of evolution to get to like where we are, for instance, as humans, it's theorized to be very, very, very freaking difficult. To have like sentient, intelligent life. Maybe there is intelligent life out there, man. Like just the amount of galaxies, stars, and everything, and planets out there. We're definitely not alone, I feel like. Which is crazy. Like sitting with the idea and thought of how small our planet is, our solar system is, our galaxy is, in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it really, I mentioned before, humbles you, puts things into perspective. And in a way, it makes you grateful as well for what we have here on Earth in your life. So, whenever life gets tough, things get difficult, things are overwhelming, just recommend just at night, even when there are no stars, I mentioned, just look up. Just look up, have a curiosity to look up, and even if you don't see any stars beyond that, they are there. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there, but there's like this whole expansive universe out there beyond our comprehension. It's incredible stuff, crazy stuff. Love this type of stuff.